Hello, happy Thursday. Better yet, happy Friday Eve, right? Right, happy Friday Eve. And I don't know, for those of you that live in humid weather, it was so nice this morning. So nice this morning. Finally, not melt your makeup off your face hot at 7 a.m. So, welcome, guys, to our September session for Juiced. Super excited to get going today. I was just literally, I told Rachel, I ran it downstairs to where we record these. I ran downstairs in like 9:55 and I said, just in time. All right. So super pumped to be here and ready to talk about Juiced and how we're going to get ready for the fall. So we're going to go ahead and start jumping in a little bit, get going so I can make the most of the hour that we have together. If you know me or if you've heard me speak for very many times, an hour is like 10 minutes to me. I can talk forever. So it'll be jam packed, but I will save room for questions at the end. So feel free as you have questions to put them in the chat. Rachel's behind the scenes here, keeping up with all the questions that come through. Also, if you don't mind, go ahead in the chat and tell us what company you're with. If you're a Lemon Seed team member, introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do at Lemon Seed. And our clients, we are so excited to have each of you. And so welcome to the party. A lot of you were on our call yesterday for our Q3 training with Trey. We're going to really try hard next time to not have those so close together. That was poor planning on my part, so I take responsibility. We're in the middle of show season, so we're traveling a lot. And so I needed to pick a time that I was in office. It also happened to be when Trey was in office. And so we'll do better planning in the next a few months to make sure those things stay free and clear of a little bit of time with each other. So welcome to our Juiced session. So those of you that are joining, if you are on plan with Lemon Seed moving forward, so starting next month, this would be $99 a month for you to be able to participate and anyone on your team. So it's as many seats as you want to give out. So if you've got a community marketer on your team, a CSR on your team, a social media person, anything like that that you want to give access to the Zoom call, $99 a month gets you access to this call and the recording. So we'd love to have you. If you're on this call and you are not on plan with Lemon Seed, your cost is $199 a month to get this. And so we make it as full of content as we can to really motivate you to head into the fall season. I talk as much as I can about multi-service. So bear with me, but if you want to have specific examples, I'll do my best. Pretty good on the fly, but let's get started and let's get going. So let's get ready for fall. So first and foremost, telling you guys who I am, Crystal Williams. And so I know not everybody knows who I am. So Crystal Williams, owner and operator here at Lemon Seed Marketing with my partner, Emily Flanagan. She and I own the company along with my brother, Trey. We come from the heating and air conditioning world and now plumbing world. And I also am part owner in a roofing company. And my sister and my brother are getting ready to start a pest control company. So lots of cool things that we have going on. I live my life for the trades. And so I'm excited to be here. So every juice session, you're either going to have me or Emily doing that juice session. And we try to shake it up a little bit for you. So welcome to the party. But Fall Frenzy is how we are going to kick off our life for fall season. One of my favorite times of the year here in East Texas, but it's just better weather. But more than anything, as a community style marketer that really loves a guerrilla style, boots on the ground style marketing tactics, I live for this time of the year. Okay. So where do we start? Right? You're like, okay, Crystal, this sounds great. I really don't know how to get my head wrapped around some things. So I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the podcast said, really being overwhelmed comes from lack of clarity. And I was like, oh, that's a good one. Okay. So what I want to do is, if you're looking at this screen of where do we start, there's those three things there that really talk about branding, calls to action, and cultivation. These are the three I call pillars. If you heard some of my podcasts lately, I talk about being memorable, discoverable, and keeping those things top of mind. And then fosterable is my last word, but I kind of cleaned it up a little bit for you guys on this call. So branding, we're going to talk about for fall, brand wise, are we ready? Calls to action wise, are we ready? And cultivation wise, are we ready? Well, the answer is we may not be today, but we shall be ready. So let's get started on the branding piece. And so right now, what I want you guys to think about and take some notes for your own brand is, where are you focused on building your brand? Where do you have this where do you have your brand pieces out there? So remember, branding has a very hard direct return on the investment. Super hard, right? So when you're doing a billboard, people will say, "Well, I did a billboard, but it just didn't work." So you know what I have to say is, prove it. Right? So tell me that your billboard didn't work. What does that mean? So how you can prove a lot of your direct mail, back that out. A lot of your branding, how you can prove that branding is working is through the organic growth on the digital side. So it sounds kind of counterintuitive a little bit. Naturally, if we're growing in new customer acquisition, our branding must be working. Okay. Ryan Shute from Wizard of Ads, he and I had a good conversation at Pantheon this last week. And he told me, he said, truth be told, all marketing works, just not for everybody. Right? So all marketing tactics have a purpose, have a place, and can and will work if they are set up in the right environment. So for our branding, though, we are focusing on only the customer exposure. So do you know why kids, little kids that are 2 and 3 years old that can't read, why can they identify the McDonald's arch? Because it's environmental awareness, right? Everywhere they've been their whole life, probably they're driving by a McDonald's or a Chuck E. Cheese, whatever it is, but they've made the identification. So that's what the goal is with our branding. So we have visual environmental awareness through our billboard campaigns, through our truck wraps, through van wraps, through all the cinema. So if you're in the movie theaters and you're running the pre-roll before the movie starts, you've got a really good commercial, it needs to probably be a branded commercial with very little call to action. It's just another touch point. So think about it this way, like we think we're really important and we think that everyone knows our brand. So I'm like, how can someone not know Lemon Seed? Well, they don't, because they don't care, right? They're not caring yet. Most answers come out of pain points for companies. So until they feel a marketing pain, they're probably not even looking for a Lemon Seed, right? So at the end of the day here, what we've got to focus on is with our radio, our TV, our billboards, bus wraps, cinema, and all of those things, are we cleaned up? Is it time to invest in a new commercial? Is it time to invest in a jingle? So maybe you've been on radio for a hot minute. You've been running radio very traditionally, and I'm sorry, very consistently for years, months. And really now you're like, okay, how can I shake this up? One way is through a jingle. Another way is through just updating your conversation. So here's my biggest pet peeve. I'm driving down the road in December and someone says, it's an end of summer sale. Well, for 3 months, 4 months, that's not an end of summer sale. That's lazy advertising, right? So an end of summer sale you can do right now in September, right? And some of you needed to do it in August, depending on where you live. So if you're doing an end of summer sale or get ready for the fall sale, those little bit of changing your wording really will make a difference. Same thing on your billboards, right? So billboards are good. I would say billboards needed to be changed out at least twice a year, if not quarterly. Now, if you're a digital board, there's no reason to not be updating it very consistently every 6 to 8 weeks at minimum. But a static board that's got like a vinyl wrap or a wrap that you got to put on there and pay for the installation and all of that, I would say at the bare minimum twice a year, but quarterly would be ideal. And that's because you want, if it's torn on the side or faded with its colors and things like that, that's not a good look. Right? We wouldn't let our vans look like that probably, so we shouldn't let our billboard look like that. So what happens is I always take this time of the year and freshen up my content, get a fresh look on there. Maybe I'm still doing branding. Like right now, our billboards for my brother's company, they say McWilliams, heating, cooling, plumbing with Sailor Mac on the side. Nothing even really fancy. I just went super simple, but I really am trying to bring attention to the new plumbing vertical, which we've had it 2.5 years now, but to us, it's still new. So on your branding, that's just making sure, like, have you thought through what are you doing to be memorable? Now, guys, if you're looking at these lists and you're listening to me right now and you're like, well, I don't do any of that, that should be a red flag. What are we doing for our brand? And if you can't name anything that the goal is to just for people to experience your brand, then we've got an issue. Okay. Another type of branding that I'll talk about a little bit later today in our call is community marketing. So that's another way that the community engages with your brand is when you are sponsoring the little league teams and things like that. So, but I would like for you to write down, where is your company doing branding, not direct mail, calls to action and things like that. Straight up, this is who I am. This is my brand. What are you doing for that? Okay. And so here are some fun ideas that I came up with for ways to kind of kick your branding, maybe just like give it a little bit of push into the fall. So here's a cool thing. Take all of your membership club members and go around and buy pumpkins in bulk and go deliver a pumpkin to all of the homes that you have membership clubs with, or all of the new members, or all the members that have been with you over 5 years. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can dissect and build that audience, but delivering something to all of your membership members. This also could be a happy Thanksgiving card to your maintenance club. Yes, you can do an email, and yes, that would be free or a lot less expensive. It also is going to have a lot less of an impact. So we're looking for something to really make an impact and disrupt. Y'all are going to hear that's kind of my word lately, disrupt the market. So if all of a sudden people are posting on social media like, my flipping plumbing company just delivered a pumpkin. Guys, what plumbing company does? And they put that on their TikTok and their Facebook and things like that. And yes, the pumpkin cost you $4, right? But all of that marketing might be very well worth it. So that's just an example of an idea to kind of give you guys some motivation. The other thing is, guys, it is community involvement season, right? Now everybody wants to be doing cool stuff. So as you're looking at your calendar, I want you to focus on your home market, focus in your backyard. So where do people already see your vans and trucks driving around? So I know you have your eyes set on that little town over there and this few outlying areas over here, but I want you to focus on, where do you have the most opportunity to grow? And that's really going to be with the people in your backyard. So once you own your backyard and you're sitting at 30-40% market share, sis, move on, right? But you can't take your foot off the gas in those markets, because that's when people creep in and they'll take your knees out. So I encourage you here to really look for opportunities in those markets. So community involvement is very important. So you're looking for the fall festivals of the world, the carnivals of the world. You're looking at, how can you do this? So I did this yesterday. I had a call with one of our clients, and she and I had a great hour-long conversation about her community involvement strategy. It is not just sticking your logo on a banner, right? It's not. So Lemon Seed. So I don't actually market locally in my own market, but I like to give back locally. Okay. So the local high school football team here, she called, one of the parents called me. My son is 16, but he doesn't play football, but he's in the athletic department because he plays golf. So I get a text message, and she's like, hey, we need 50 boxes or 40 boxes of food. It doesn't matter. It can be chips or whatever, donated for our kids before they leave. The school only pays for the kids to eat when they get back. Right. So I was like, no problem. So it's going to cost me about $300. So is it worth it? Is it going to bring me a bunch of business? No. Right. No, it's not. But is it goodwill? And do I want my customers, on my clients at Lemon Seed, to see that I care about my community? Absolutely. And do I care about these boys getting fed, and girls, trainers, things like that getting fed? Yeah. So that's an easy one for me. But also, I'm not just sending food. No, no, no. I am sending 2 team members. They're going to go to the high school, and they're going to take a picture with all the lumberjacks from Diboll and all the Chick-fil-A boxes that we're donating to them. And we're going to smile and cheesy, and we're going to have them all say, let's sing. And we're going to post this on our social media, and we're going to say, good luck, lumberjacks, beat the Woodville Eagles. We hope you enjoyed your meal, from our team to yours. We love supporting local. And y'all, people will really respond to that. And so it kills a lot of birds with one stone. It lets my clients know how much I care. It lets my community know how much I care. It lets my team know how much I care. And also, most importantly, it solved a real need that one of my friends had and that the kids had, right? So those are just some good examples of things that you can do there. Parades are coming up. So now is the time to prepare for Veterans Day parades. right? If you have a mascot that is anything near veteran or patriotic or Americana, anything like that, I would be all up in the, I'd be the grand marshal of the Veterans Parade. Okay. I'll be the grand marshal and I would be posting all over social media about how we support the veterans and how here's how easy it is to get in the parade and let's show support. So instead of just touting, like, look at me, look at me, look at what I do, encourage other people to get involved and bring awareness to the organization. And Christmas parades, those should be on your schedule. You should be looking for those opportunities. Guys, it's as easy as put two technicians in the back of a truck that's wrapped well, that's cleaned up, and just let them wave at everybody, right? And bring two of the CSRs or their wives or two other technicians and let them hand out candies that somehow tie back into your market. So in our parades, we can't throw candy, but you can hand candy out, right? I would be all over it and fairly inexpensive. I actually budget about $5,000 a year for floats, for parade floats, because I'm going to try to win every parade. That's my jam. Also, food collections, like you could do some really cool stuff like fill the truck, fill the trailer. We're donating for every member of our membership club. We donated a turkey, a ham, or I have 13 team members, so I donated 13 hams. There's lots of cool things you can do there. And then make sure that your graphics are leaning into the weather that we are going into. So fall, coldish weather. So I would not have people in bathing suits on my content. Right? I'm thinking you need them more in a scarf with a pumpkin spice, something latte, right? Something basic, as I say, some basic girl style stuff you got going on. But the point here that I want to make is in your branding, you need to stop and look at it. Now is the time. Stop and look at where you're branding and what you're doing. And are your graphics updated? Does everything look fresh? Okay. Now we're going to jump into calls to action. Okay. So now it's time to, again, get our heads wrapped around the fact that we're going into fall. So what does that look like for me, right? So the number one, and Trey talked about this a lot yesterday, is operational excellence. So I say this quite often. Marketing is not a band-aid for bad operations. If anything, when you really turn on marketing and you start doing a lot of things, it will bring to light every operational deficiency that you have. Okay, so the hard part is getting a healthy balance. So for fall, always make sure, are my CSRs ready? Okay, so does my CSRs know that I'm doing a giveaway, that I'm doing a heating tune-up, that I'm doing a drain clearing special, a water heater special, a sump pump special? Do they know that? And if they don't know it, where are they supposed to hear it from? Who should be telling them? Where do they have access to what the ad looks like? What are those things? We build out employee portals for clients a lot just so they can point their own team to what they're doing, right? The other thing is scripting. So if you're like doing an outbound call campaign, I couldn't get that word in my head. If you're doing an outbound call campaign around a heating tune-up special or a drain clearing special, I would adapt my wording a little bit to be more like, hey, I know the weather's probably getting chilly. We're thinking about frozen pipes. Right. So that's a different conversation than, hey, your swimming pool is taking a lot of water. And we want to make sure that we have, that's what we have sub pumps for here. So, you want to make sure that your scripting that your team has access to is healthy and ready for the right season. Another one that I put on there that we don't think about a lot for operational is on hold music. So the reason that this made me think is I had to call a company yesterday for a personal thing that I was doing, and their on hold music was like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And I was like, huh? Hang on just a minute. So I thought they're either well ahead of the game or that crap is still up from Christmas 2022, right? So odds are it's the second one. It's still up from Christmas of last year. So what I like to do is when we got our radio jingle, we actually bargained a little bit and went ahead and got our on hold music created through the jingle company so that we had it matched our jingle. So it was auditory repetition. They heard it on the radio and now they're going to hear it on our on hold music. But you can have little caveats that you add in there like, thank you for calling Yellow Bear Air and happy fall. We're here to get both your heating and air conditioning and plumbing systems all tuned up and ready for that winter weather. So that's a fairly simple thing. And you can say, hey, let me set a calendar invite because in November, right after Thanksgiving, I want to upload one that says, hi, I'm Crystal with Lemon Seed Marketing, and we want to wish you from our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I just add that, pop, drop that right in. set an alarm for January 2nd, take that off and back to, hi, thank you for calling Lemon Seed Marketing, or thank you for calling Yellow Bear Air, right? So that's not hard, but it is just a little bit of the exposure and the customer journey that your client's going through, that your customers are going through. It's just those are little touch points, because the devil's in the details. The details are how you win those games, right? So the next thing that we focus on for calls to action is on the digital side. So I encourage our account managers on our team, do a whole little digital audit to get ready for the fall. So where am I going to start? I'm going to start at looking at my actual website. So is my website ready for fall? So when I go to my website right now, is it a beach umbrella and a beach ball, or am I getting ready to transition into fall? So October, November, December is actually Q4. So you've got some time to get some things updated there. So are my offers graphically, do I look like I'm headed to fall? The look of your website has very little to do with the performance of your website. So what you're thinking of here is literally the customer journey. Okay. So if I see, oh, I want to call Yellow Bear Air, and I click on the Google business profile to go to the website to get the phone number, because I don't know how to use Google very well, and I land on there and it looks all summary, automatically, I discredit the company, because I'm like, they haven't even changed anything. Maybe not right now, because it can still be hot. But for the most part, you need to be thinking about this and giving yourself time to get that done correctly. So do a website audit, right? So send a test email to yourself on all of your forms. Call the tracking numbers that are on there, right? Also go to the coupons page that's on there. Are all of your coupons updated? Right? There's nothing wrong. So if you have Lemon Seed Marketing, we should be doing those things and bringing them to your attention, but it's a partnership. So there's nothing keeping you from the start of every quarter, go on, set a calendar invite and start, just say, you know what, I'm just going to do a little visual overview. And so that's a good one. Also, are the sliders updated? So if you're doing a system giveaway in October, or if you're doing an Alzheimer's awareness walk and you want those things on your website, you need to be preparing for that now, so that it's more reflective of fall. So a digital audit to me would be a website audit, double checking like, hey, digital vendor, can you verify for me what offers we have running for the fall? And your Lemon Seed team should be able to say, this is what we submitted. This is what should be running for your PPC offer that you have out there right now. If you're running geofencing and social media ads and things like that, that's when we would need to know, okay, and I have these other campaigns going as well. The next thing that I talk about is direct mail updates. So those of you that are using things like Stokastic or Best Postcards and things like that, you should be looking at, is my offer up to date? So right now, I'm probably could still squeeze maybe another week or two out of a AC tune-up. Okay. But really pretty soon I need to go ahead and flip that switch and be at heating tune-up. Okay. Same thing. Now I run drain clearing all year long. Okay. So I don't really change that one. And we use Stokastic. My brother's company uses Stokastic. So to use them, we don't really change the graphics, but we do also mail out some different pieces to our existing customers. So I would want to make sure that I'm looking good for that. Another thing on direct mail is your Christmas cards or New Year card or Thanksgiving card. You don't need to wait until December the 15th to be like, oh, dang, I meant to send out a magnet to every new customer. I wonder if I can cram that in. Because let me tell you what happens. Starting about like December 5th or 10th, I can't remember, a direct mail company that I just met lately, he was sharing with me like the busiest time of the year for mail is like December the 10th through December 27th or something like that. It's the busiest time for mail. So guess when your Christmas card is going to hit? Right in the middle of that, right? So if I were y'all, I'd be working on how can I hit this like right at the very beginning of December, or how can I hit a Thanksgiving card or a New Year card? It's a new year. Maybe it's time for a new system or a new philosophy on maintenance, right? Cool little things like that. But I just encourage you, like, stop overthinking it and get those things going, but get ready for the fall. And then take a look at your drop schedule, right? So take a look at your direct mail and where you're dropping it. So let's talk about, there's two things I want to clarify here. I'm speaking of prospecting direct mail for a lot of this. So a lot of you, when you think direct mail, you're like, oh, I do direct mail. I send maintenance tune-up reminders. That ain't direct mail. That is mail that's going out. But to me, a direct mail strategy is you need to have probably two different things that you're running. Not probably, you need to have two different things. The first one will be prospecting, new customer acquisition. So if your brand, if you have a good brand and you feel like you've been branding in your market and you have a pretty good market share, okay, if that's where you fit, then you should be doing direct mail. I talked to a person yesterday that would potentially be a new client for Lemon Seed, and he was like, yeah, we've been in business 45 years. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Tell me, what you've been doing. Well, we're at 4 million. So I'm like, that's okay. But that sent a red flag to me. So he said, we've never marketed to get new customers. I just sat there like that. So I said, well, how'd you get to 4 million? Well, he said, we just worked the crap out of our existing database and referral. I'm like, well, my gosh, imagine if we actually asked for people to be our customer, where we would be. So prospecting direct mail is that first line of just new customer acquisition. A company without new customers is a dying company. So new customer acquisition must be a focus and a major focus. Cultivation, so existing customer mailings, that's cultivation. That's a whole different, you already have those customers. Yes, it creates call count, and yes, it creates revenue. That's why it gets its own focus, but they are not the same. They have two different goals. One is to reinvigorate the customer and get more revenue from them. The other one is to get a new, like a whole little spider caught in my spider web, or bug caught in my spider web, I should say, but they're mine, right? You're mine, you little pretty, you're mine. And now once I get them, I'm going to put them over here in this category and keep them. Okay. So that direct mail really has to be monitored. But in your mind, if you're a compartmentalizer like I am, I always go, what is my prospective direct mail train and what is my existing customer cultivation plan? Okay. So you can't, for example, it's really hard to get a good return on prospecting email marketing. So email marketing outlandishly outperforms prospecting. In-house email marketing way outperforms prospecting email marketing, right? So direct mail kind of has a little different thing. Prospecting direct mail, you've got to run very consistently, and the offer has to be reflective of the season that we're going into, right? So it has to be a compelling offer. It has to be branded enough for people recognize your name, and so they trust it. And you have to mail it very consistently. This is the argument that I tell people. People will say, I did direct mail and it didn't work. And I'm gonna say, okay, so tell me, what was the longevity of the campaign? 3 weeks. I'm like, well, I don't have to ask any more questions. That's why it didn't work. You didn't give it a chance to work, right? So how many of you are like, I'm starting a diet, right? I'm gonna start a diet. I'm gonna eat clean and I'm gonna work out twice a day. I'm gonna do all these things. And then you wake up the next day and go, well, that didn't work. I'm out, right? So that's what people do to direct mail every day. You're like pumped up and you're like, well, this is $2,000, this is $2,500. What am I going to do? And as soon as you don't see an immediate people picking up the phone to call, y'all are out. Y'all are not very loyal to the poor little direct mail campaign, man. But we can fix that. It's just about getting your head wrapped around the purpose, right, of that prospecting direct mail. And then the direct mail that goes out to your existing customers, it normally have a quicker return, but not, it's always, you're looking for consistency there. But go ahead and evaluate your performance and see how you need to change that direct mail. Next, we have mass media. And so we're going to talk about calls to action for your mass media. So let me give a couple examples. So if I'm running a really good commercial, if you have not invested in a really good commercial, I'm going to tell you to find $8,000 to $10,000, okay, over the next couple of years. So if you need to budget for it in 2024, budget for it. We need to hire you a professional commercial company. We need to find that company for you. And we need to create a really solid 30-second commercial and 60-second commercial and some little bumper videos. We need to invest in that. Okay. And then at the end, so the same branding is at the beginning of this commercial. This commercial has the same vibe all year long. But at the end, what we call the closing screen, it might say, right now, offering 3 months, no payments when you install a brand new Daikin system. Right now, call today for a free upgrade. Or the plumbers are going to lose their mind when I finish this statement, but not a free upgrade to a tankless. Okay. So that's what I was going to say, but that's not a good offer. And I know it. So, but y'all see my point here. What you could say is, hey, upgrade from a tank to a tankless water heater and save $500. So you can throw in at the very end of your mass media, throw in a little offer, like nod, as I call it. Just whisper it out there into the market. Because again, the goal of mass media and how you measure mass media, how you compartmentalize social media, mass media in your brain, is it is not designed to have a directional ROI. We're just trying to stay relevant inside the customer's mind. We have moved into their mind and we want to stake claim. We are squatters in their mind. Okay. That's what we've got to be. So make sure that your ending screens are updated, or if you're running radio, that your donut in the middle piece of your commercial is updated. Also, check your run times and your dates. So I would just touch base back with any of your vendor partners. So call the television station and say, hey, I'd like an audit on when everything ran last time. Or so far this year, and what the projection run dates are for this year. Same thing on radio. For if you're doing digital radio or digital TV, you can still request this information. Digital radio and digital TV should give you a lot more connective pieces, meaning, hey, so who saw my commercial on TV and also visited my website that shares the same IP address? That's why digital radio and TV are super cool. We can really get deep. So I use this analogy. If you're riding on a boat, right, and you go out to the middle of the ocean and you take this net and you throw that net over the whole ocean and you reel that net back in, it's going to have a bazillion types of fish and things in it, right? It's going to have all kinds of things in it. And really, you were just there on a crab hunt. So you're going to gather up all the crabs and you're going to scoop them in, right? Put those in your basket. And you're going to throw the rest of the fish away. So at least you had the opportunity to get those fish. You just didn't want those fish, so we threw them back. But we did gather up some crabs. Or the other option, so that's mass media, traditional mass media. Or we can pay a guide that knows where the crabs live, and we can go bait a crab hole. That might be illegal. So if it is, just roll past that. But bait the crab hole, and then we're going to go cast a net, and we're going to have a very intentional grab of just crab. That is digital. That's the difference between digital marketing and mass media marketing, right? So mass media, we're going to touch every single body. Digital TV and radio and things like that, we are baiting a hole, and that's who we want to go after. Okay. The next one that I have on my screen is social media. Again, are your graphics updated? Do you have pictures that are reflective of the fall? Do you have things going on your website page or social media page? So let me tell you something. I said this at Pantheon, and then I thought I might have made some people mad. Here's the deal. I can talk to 100 people in a room and tell them exactly how to be successful on social media. Literally 2 people might do what it takes to be successful. And the main reason for that is I'm going to give it to you guys time. Okay. Time to do it. But so like Lemon Seed's whole strategy of our social media is to give you ideas and give you thoughts. You just have to take the picture or make the video and things like that. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to see success from organic just posting to your social media channels. You're not going to see it. And so I really encourage you to figure that piece out, because if you're better off doing one video a month than a bunch of hodgepodge. And some of you are having so I'm really about to hurt some of your feelings. This is fine, but it can't be what your whole thing is. So some of you have an integration with your review platform that every review gets posted on social media. That's gross. Okay. And the main reason is there's no life to that. It looks canned posted. So you want to up your game. I would still highlight every review. If you want that to be your social media strategy, that's fine. But next time, have the technician read the review. Jason showed up at my house and performed a great maintenance plan. I'll always trust Yellow Bear Air. And at the end, he can read that review and go, awesome, right? And then you post that video versus the company, whoever that took the review, posting it. I promise you, the one with your client, with your employee reading the review, will drastically outperform everything else. Also, can y'all please just ask your own team to like and share your social media post? That's another thing that's super easy to do to give yourself life there, is just get your own team to do it. Giveaways, it's a fun time to do giveaways right now. So giveaways, so let's talk about that. That could be a family feast for Thanksgiving. That could be a Christmas gift coming up. That could be a system giveaway, a water heater giveaway, a We have talked about doing like a Veterans Day giveaway, like nominate a veteran, things like that. Like there's lots of cool things that you can do right now. Heck, give away bicycles. It's finally fall. We're giving away a fire pit and marshmallow roasting supplies. It doesn't even matter. People just want to win stuff and be cool. Do a local football team. Like we're giving away a Diboll Lumberjack fan pack. That's it. But you're paying for engagement. Let's just call it what it is. Now, on the paid ad side of social media, that's a whole nother game. Right now, I see like these gurus that are like, oh my gosh, social media, turn it on, 50 leads a month. And I'm like, I don't know. And the main reason that I don't know is I haven't been able to really prove that level of success yet with all the clients that I deal with on a daily basis and all the clients that aren't my clients, but I still, maybe I consult for or coach for. Direct social media paid ads is to me, it's a specific purpose, but I will say there are companies that are doing well with it. I just want to encourage you to really hold their feet to the fire on performance and make sure that you have tracking numbers in there and that the offer is good. So you have to be intentional. So are you just straight up doing social media for branding? Or are you doing it for a call to action? So branding, okay, I'll answer it at the end here in a second. Branding, social media post is more like, we're proud to be serving your area for over 75 years, or Sailor Mac says hello, or Bo the Bee here telling you to have a happy and safe homecoming, right? That's branding. Calls to action are like save $1,000, a 0% financing for 5 years. Things that we can't afford to buy the buy down on, right? Crazy things like that. But there's cool things on there that you can say, like maybe it's free water filtration system when you buy a tankless water heater. Things that you can make yourself stand out with. That's what needs to be social media ads, but you've really got to hold your feet to the fire. I'll hold the vendor's feet to the fire there. Existing customers. So what can we do to have some calls to action with our existing customers? So those of you that are leaving questions, Rachel's writing those down. So I'm going to answer those at the end. So existing customers. This is where, if you look on the slide here, you'll see existing customers have cross promotions. So when I talk cross promotions, that is, hey, you used me for HVAC, but not for plumbing. Or, hey, you used me for your water heater service, but not your drain clearing service. You used me for duct work, but not for a tune-up. So you need to be able to compartmentalize your database. That's a really cool way to do that. Also, just cultivating tune-ups. Look through there and see what all of your customers have not had their tune-up, or whatever that looks like. Maybe it's the plumbing inspection that you do, or it's the roof inspection that you do, the chimney inspection that you do, whatever that looks like. What have they not done? Who has not done it? And how can I put a call to action in there? So regular tune-up, $89. If you schedule within the next 2 weeks, it's $79. So I tell contractors all the time, you can have an empty dashboard because you stuck to 89, or you can have a relatively full one because you went down $10. Which one is better for you, right? Replacements. This is another good opportunity. People that of age equipment right now is a good way to give them a lucrative offer to replace whatever it is. Hey, we came out, quoted a repipe for your home. You weren't ready to do it then. Right now, I can offer you X amount off if you'll let us do that in the next few weeks as we try to fill our board. People like the honesty and the transparency. Just don't go too far with that. Okay. All right. Next, cultivation. So this is our third talking point. Cultivation. I say, let's till that garden. So you guys have paid and worked for years to get existing customers into your database. Okay. So now let's talk about what systems are you using this fall to really cultivate and keep that nice, fresh, top of mind awareness with those clients. So let's start with number one, rehash programs. Okay, let me back up. Rehash programs, hatch or chirp, some of those things like that. So let's talk about, what is a rehash program designed to do? It's designed to literally cultivate. So clients, it's engaging with them where they are. So did they come out to you and they're a new customer? Let's talk to them. Did they come out and not join your maintenance club? Let's talk to them. Did they join your maintenance club? Let's remind them. Did they have an unsold estimate? Did they not do any indoor air quality? Is their system older than what it needs to be? Is the water heater, last few times you've serviced it, needs to be replaced? Those things are rehash programs. They should be automated partners to you. Marketing Pro on Service Titan is another rehash program. Those things are super important that work behind the scenes. A lot of those are automated things. So I had a client the other day that was like, hey, Chirp is just not working for me, or this rehash program's not working for me. So I was like, really? Well, when I get in there, they had one program set up. And so I said, well, why do you only have one program? And they were like, oh, the rest of them were just really hard to set up. Okay, well, that's not a program issue. That's not a vendor issue. That is a we're too lazy to set it up issue, right? So that's what Lemon Seed's here for. Like, tell us what you need. We'll help you get it set up. We'll save you from yourself, as I say. Also, consistent email strategy. So those of you that maybe aren't a part of those, like No Hatch or Chirp or Marketing Pro, or things like that, you can still partner with Constant Contact or MailChimp and send out consistent emails. If you don't do any emails, here's one that I need you to start doing. And it's a simple newsletter every month. So you have 4 weeks to get the content to send out a newsletter every single month. And on that newsletter, I want you to put a review. I want you to put a recipe or a craft. I want you to give them 3 tips for something: lawn care, decorating, cat, dog cares, a fence, a chimney, hot cars, any kind of 3 safety tips. And at the very end, I want you to have some sort of nod to whatever offer you have going on for replacement and the tune-up side of your business. Start doing that, mail it very consistently every single month on a branded look and feel. So meaning I'm not going to send out the Yellow Bear newsletter and it be all pink, unless it says it's October awareness. I mean, it's breast cancer awareness month for October, right? So, but I have to have a purpose. So start there, just being consistent with those email strategies, and it will perform. Direct mail. So y'all are going to learn this about me. If y'all do not know this, I love direct mail. I just think now everything is so digital and techie. Like, you can just touch my phone and here's my contact, and you can email me and chat and Slack and blah, blah, blah. All those things just make my head spin. You know what I want? Like last night I got home at 9:30 because I had a meeting at church. I walked in, checked my mail, and in my mail was the Bath and Body Works fall calendar. Y'all, I sat down for 15 minutes and looked through that book. You know why? Because I crave a lot of times not being on my phone, not looking at a screen. So I always have adopted this same thing, that I think your existing customers still like the traditional tangible feel of a postcard or a newsletter. So my recommendation on this is that 4 times a year, they get some sort of tangible piece of mail from you. It is going to cost you money. Okay. And not every piece is designed to be an actual measurable ROI that has direct correlation. Okay. So let's use newsletter, right? So if I'm going to send a newsletter out, I would want to make sure that it's not designed to just a list of coupons. It's designed to make an engagement, a relationship with that customer. But I might send out in Q1 a spring special for existing customers only, right? So direct mail is a good opportunity there. And then outbound calling. So the other day I had a client tell me, and I've told this story. This actually wasn't a client. This was a client that was going to get ready to onboard. And they say, hey, we just don't have a lot of call count right now. I need some help with that. And so I said, okay. I said, well, what is your outbound strategy? And he's like, oh, no, my CSRs are way too busy to do that. So I was like, well, hang on. So if there's no call count coming in, why are your CSR so busy? The phones aren't ringing. You just told me the phones weren't ringing. Well, what it does is it makes them go, well, let me look and see if the phones really are ringing. But outbound dialing is it's laborious, but it does work if you are strategic about how you want that outbound campaigns done. And so you can outbound call all day long, every day, if you got a big enough database. But a lot of us will only we will over cultivate our land. You know, those of you that bake, you know how it'll say fold in the Cool Whip or whatever. You can kill a recipe by over whipping it, right? Same thing here. Some of y'all have all your customers in a bowl and y'all are whisking the crap out of them, right? Y'all have whisked them until they are deflated and laying on the bottom of the bowl. So there's like a good healthy balance there. All right. So we're going to talk social media real quick. So we want to focus on how to be social, not how to do social. So I had some people tell us the other day, we believe that social media needs to be calls to action. I'm like, gross. That is gross. I don't want to see that. that I scroll right past. You know what's on my nerves right now, and it shouldn't be because it's an unpopular opinion. TikTok shop, right? So last night as I was scrolling through, like every other um posting was somebody selling me something. And I'm just at the end of the day, I don't really want to see that. I want to see like somebody telling me a story or something like that. So people just get inundated with salesy stuff, right? That's not what we want to be. We are building relationships with this. So choose what matters to your business and your audiences. So, you know what, one of my favorite things to see on social media, I'm not even a dog person, but like we adopted these 4 dogs. We supported this, we supported that, right? So super cool things that I like to see on there. I also love to see and work anniversaries and work birthdays and milestones and things like that. I like to engage with those types of things. Good luck to the Diboll Lumberjacks. You know, I like those things way more than I like. And when I say I mean as a professional for contractors. When I say I like, that's what I mean. I like to see my customers doing more community and local engagement pieces. Okay. So remember who you are talking to on social media, and it may not be you. So I people tell me all the time, well, I just don't think people do social media. And I'm like, "So what? Okay. It's just because you don't do social media. Right. So you also like, so the difference between me and Emily, I'm 41, she's not. So she's on Instagram. She loves Instagram. Rachel behind the scenes, they love some Instagram. You know where I am? Me, I'm over here quilting my Afghan on Facebook, evidently, right? I'm old school, but I'm on Facebook. But probably I'm in a different place professionally. My kids are older than Emily's kids. I'm probably my husband's in a different place at his job. She's still got a young family. So she loves the pictures and the engagement on Instagram. So you've got to really understand that it's because you are not on a certain platform does not mean that some of your audience is not on that platform. So you kind of have to get your own self out of your way there. I did want to talk a little bit about a few of the vendor partners that we have seen really good success with. As far as helping go into the shoulder season, Service Titans Marketing Pro is a good software. It's a good system. If you have your Service Titan set up correctly and it's a well-oiled machine, then Marketing Pro works really well. Chirp is another vendor partner that we worked really well with to help our clients get going and get set up. Again, that's a rehash program. And then a brand new one to us is Searchlight. So Searchlight is a basically unbiased digital auditing company. So they come in and they kind of start managing. You do have to be on Service Titan or Field Edge, but and there's a few others that you can be on that they partner with. But basically, it's going to start showing you all of your digital spend. So like down to each individual campaign and how where the customer journey took that client and where they actually spent the money. It is. We have been looking for this vendor partner for years for our clients. So we are super excited to start working with Searchlight. All right, community marketing, make a difference, make a customer. This is where I really want you guys to start looking for some ideas and ways to do things. So I gave you, again, some generic ideas. So let's say the Rotary Club is doing a waffle bake and they're like, oh, can y'all sponsor us? You know what I do? Hey, what if I buy all of your to-go containers and I'm going to put a sticker on the top that says, Yellow Bear Air was proud to support the Rotary Club of League City. And so it's a banner on there. I mean, it's a little sticker on there. It's got a QR code that says scan here to claim your coupon. Right. And then I offer to be out there in your to-go line. Me and my team, I'm going to put my Yellow Bear Air tent. I'm going to park my Yellow Bear Air truck, and me and 3 other members are going to hand out to-go containers. Right. What about bags? So, hey, it's all the teachers are coming back to school. Give us an item. Well, I don't want to be an item. I want to be the bag. Right. Let's say you're going to work a race. There's a race in your market and you're like, you know what? I'll hold the clipboards. Guess what's on the back of that clipboard? My what? My logo. And I'm standing there and I'm like, hey, welcome. You crossed the Yellow Bear Air finish line. Congratulations. What's your name? Right. All those are interactive pieces. And then driving in parades. Let's say you're like, oh, I just really don't know how to participate in my community. So homecoming parades, get all the cheerleaders to sign a waiver and pull their trailer with your truck through the simple parade route. Right. And now everybody's looking for the cheerleaders like, go Tigers, blah, blah, blah. And then there's your wrapped truck looking good, pulling those. Those are easy ways to start giving back to the community. So giving back is not always financial. Sometimes, like, you know what makes a big difference when you just participate in the homecoming parade. when you just participate in the Christmas parade. You just participate when the local food bank is collecting food. It isn't so much that you're giving them thousands of dollars as much as it is that you're engaging with the brand. Which speaking of engagement, let's jump into team engagement. I want to remind you here, your team just got done with probably a rough summer or a busy year. So let's celebrate, right? And what are some things that we can do? So for engaging with our team, number one thing I wanted to mention is, can you do things that matter? So right now on social media, this guy cracks me up. I'm gonna have to find him, but he does these videos, and no matter what they're celebrating, his reward from his company is a pizza party. So he's like, I just sold $10 million. Guess what I got? A large pizza. It is so funny. He'll say, our team had no safety violations for 5 years. Guess what I got? A pizza party. And so some things are just easy to do. And so we've gotten lackadaisical and complacent with that. But what I want you to think through is like, what are things that really matter that you can do for your team? So I put on here a hat. So how many of your plumbers and technicians, they have that sweatband around their hat, right? Can you just give them a new hat? Maybe you get a new designed hat or a different design and a different style hat. And one day at the next meeting, you just walk around handing everybody a hat. They will love it. And yes, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but it's worth it. Another thing is there anything wrong with every once in a while giving a little spiff? Like, hey, I noticed that you guys came in and worked overtime for me. So yes, they're getting paid, but also here's lunch on me for the next week with a Whataburger gift card or a Taco Bell gift card, right? Whatever works for your market. So it's more about the thought that counts a lot of times. The second thing is build community within your team. You need to build community. I think the Service Titan event that I just came back from was so successful because of the sense of community that Service Titan has built. And so this is like Facebook groups. This is little fireside chats. So standing up in front of your team and just motivating, right? Just being like, hey guys, you guys have worked hard. We appreciate you. We realize that you gave up time with your kids and your families this summer. Or we realize we're headed into one of the coldest winters that we're projected to have. I know I'm going to be asking a lot of you guys. Please call me. So if you're on a job and your wife has a flat tire, call me. Right? You're on a job for me and your kids forgot their lunch money, call me. When you can start doing those things for your team, a lot of that matters more than actual money. So as long as you're paying them as fair as you can and it makes sense for the operation of the business, look and see what else you can do. A washer tournament, little friendly competition. What could that be? Could you hang up a dart board and have a dart competition, a washer board competition, a cornhole competition? Could you sit out there and do disc golf, a putting go to Academy and buy a putting mat and just say, hey, everybody putt. If you get a hole in one the first time, you win $10. I mean, you could do all kinds of cool stuff, but you just want to be together and you want to be in a positive environment that is not revolved around a KPI. Right? KPIs wear us out all the time. So you got to learn how to have a little serious and a little fun. The next one is reward. So acknowledgement is key. So making sure that you are like, hey, way to go on this. And you don't always have to celebrate these big, huge things. Like, hey, we just want to give a shout out to this CSR. She's only been here 2 weeks. And today she closed her first maintenance club selling over the phone. Is that ground shattering for the company? No. But what did it do? It makes her feel good and the rest of the community, or rest of your team members feel like it was acknowledged. And then the other reward is your own team members should be your greatest source of new employees. If your own people are not referring people to come work with them, how can you fix that? Right? Number 4, gather together. So family events. And people are like, my people don't like that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They're just not open about it, right? And they're probably lazy about it. But let me tell you, if they don't, their wife does or their partner does, right? So celebrating things like end of summer with family events. So go rent out the local water park. Go rent out the local swimming pool area. Go rent out the skate ranch, the bowling alley, and bring your whole team. Well, one of the things that McWilliams does that I really love is we rent out the water park, but we also allow families to bring 5 guests with them. So now I have 5 other people attending my company event that are getting exposed to my company culture. That's cool. That's differentiating there, right? Another thing that y'all don't like for me to tell you is leadership presence. So number 5 is leadership presence. So leaders eat last. So leaders are people that are standing at the gate when people arrive at that water park. They're not the last ones there. They're not sauntering in like I run the place. They are serving their team. Serve your team through leadership, through guidance, and through availability and through accountability. So be in front of them and shake their hands when they come in the door and say, "Oh, it's so nice to meet your Jimmy's wife. It's so nice to meet you. We love Jimmy. He is one of our best technicians. He does a great job." Right? Or, oh my gosh, you're Susie's husband. Thank you for sharing her with us. I know that you guys have little kids. Yes, yes, I know that that happens. So thank you for sharing with her. Hey, if there's ever anything I can do, please give me a call. We think that she's doing a great job. She's a fantastic member of our team. Those conversations are way more than a $25 spiff, I can promise you. And then set the expectations of attendance with your other leadership. So if you've got a service manager, an install coordinator, an install manager, if you've got a plumbing manager and those people should also be there before the team gets there. And you have to hold them to a higher level of responsibility because that's their job. That's their job. Number 6 is informing people. So if you're going to do a cookout for your whole team, let's probably go ahead and tell the team, hey, next Thursday, we're doing a cookout for you guys. Your families are more than welcome to meet us here. The best way to do that is, can you type a flyer in Word and mail it home? So that the wife can open or the spouse can open and say, "Oh, y'all are having a cookout next Thursday. I'm going to come by." Because what's going to happen is the technician is like, "Oh, it's dumb. I don't want to go anyway." And he's not going to tell anybody. He's going to stop by and get a hamburger, but he ain't going to tell anybody. And then the wife is going to see somebody else posted on social media that they were there and why did they get invited instead of them? And the husband's going to say, "Well, I didn't know about it." And we're going to be like, "You're a whole lie." Right? You're a whole lying bag of poo poo. You know better, right? But what happens is you got to kind of cover all your bases there. So here's to a fantastic fall. I know that I cram packed a lot of things in there. So branding, calls to action, and cultivate were our 3 biggest things. I'm going to take a few questions. So you're going to hear Rachel off camera ask me those questions. I'm ready.
Okay, first question. For giveaways on social media, how do you get around scammers and fake Facebook pages that get made?
Yeah, so scamming sucks. One of the things that you can do is I would keep a constant eye on it. So it is number one, we don't really want to get caught up in Facebook rules. And so the basic things like, share, comment, my recommendation is that you say, hey, visit our website to get entered to win our teacher giveaway. So you work with your website company to get a landing page up that you just update to the newest offers. So just commenting on the post as a way to get people to get entered to win is really not favorable by social media company platforms anyway. So I wouldn't use that. I would literally, if I'm going to do a giveaway, I'm going to push to a landing page and then just either turn the comments off, right? Where there's no comments, or you have to daily be monitoring that and blocking and hiding all of those spammy ones. It's gross, but that's why my recommendation is 4 years should be plenty, if not too many. Okay. Good. Okay. That's our only submitted question so far. So that was a good question. Really, guys, a lot of this is, I'm going to go on one little soapbox rant for a second. But if you have other questions, please text them to Rachel. She's listening. Let's talk about living your life by committee. I'm just on a soapbox right now. So when you live your life by committee, that means that you have a hard time standing on your own understanding and your own 2 feet. So a lot of y'all know I'm a Christian. And so there's this whole thing like lean not on your own understanding, but trust in the Lord and he'll guide your path. Okay. But what I'm talking about here is, you know that you need to have a new maintenance club. We do not need to go ask every single member of your team, your family, your community, your neighborhood HOA, the church committee, the deacons, the priest. We don't need to go ask all those people, right? You need to have 1 or 2 trusted advisors that you spitball things with and you collaborate with. And then you present what you are going to do to your team. And you present it to your leadership team first and you address any negativity and any non-buy-in that you see. And then boom, you roll right into the next thing, which is where you start releasing this to your team as if it is the best thing they've ever heard. If you're weak and afraid of it, so will your team. So it's maintenance clubs, it's rebrands, it's social media options. I'm telling you, some of you, like as the owner or as a leader in your company, I need you to get on the videos first for social media. You're like, well, I hate videos. Well, so does everybody, but you need it for your social media presence to be successful. right? And I'll tell people every time we get a new maintenance customer, it's helping me keep you busy during the slow season. So keep telling them those things. So any more questions, Rachel? Okay. If
Nope,
no
this
more
is awesome.
questions, I want to just tell you guys one more thing on the screen right now. If y'all love Juiced, don't forget that Emily and I have our podcast From the Yellow Chair. We call you guys, what's up, lemon heads? Welcome to another episode of From the Yellow Chair. And she'll say, I'm Emily. I say, I'm Crystal. And we roll through it and we talk about all things marketing and branding. Please scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. I'm assuming that most of you are watching this from a desktop and you can scan this with your cell phone. If you can't, just go find us anywhere you listen to podcasting From the Yellow Chair. But also, what would be a big help is if you will go follow our social media channels. And if you listen to us, please leave us a review on the platform where you're listening to us. We are really starting to push From the Yellow Chair. We took a little time to kind of get our feet wet and get going. But also, if you're interested in being a guest and you think you have a cool story, you can email us at hello@lemonseedmarketing.com and we'll get you on there. But we really want you guys to listen to that and tell us how we can do or provide more content for you. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this session of Juiced. If you're interested in getting the paid version, just get with your account manager or email us again at hello@lemonseedmarketing.com. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather, and we will see you next time for October session of Juiced.